In today's video, we are of course taking a look at my updated 2022 House prediction as of today, August 27th of 2022. So as you see on screen is the auto-generated map on Real Clear on 270 to win, but we're obviously gonna change this map. So starting from the state of Arizona, because Alaska and the state of Alabama doesn't have much to talk about. The 2nd District and the 1st District, I expect both of those races to be likely, but no flips for the state of Arizona. The next state will be the state of California, because Arkansas is obviously for safe Republican districts. The 1st District we're going to take a look at is Josh Harder's district. I do think that Josh Harder, currently speaking, has an edge as an incumbent, as in a district that is D+10, by won it by 10 points, so I'm going to put this as a tilty for the Democratic Party. Similarly, in the 13th district, I think the Democrats have a very narrow edge. That being said, for a 22nd district here, David Valadao, I do believe should be able to win. He is a electoral juggernaut. Similarly, in Mike Garcia's district, in this Los Angeles edge type of district, in suburban district of Los Angeles, Mike Garcia is also a electoral juggernaut. He should be able to win that district. Going to say Los Angeles here, Michelle Steele, she is about a tier below Mike Garcia and David Valadao in terms of electability, but she should be able to easily win her district as well. Or for Katie Porter, I think that this district is definitely going to be competitive, but I think that she's also pretty well known. She should be able to win, especially considering she won 51% of the vote in that open primary in the state of California, in her home district. Well, for Mike Levin, I think this will be a closer race, but in the end, I think Mike Levin should be able to win. For the state of Colorado here, I think that this is okay. Lauren Boebert, I think that district will be more competitive. I also think that the 7th district will be more competitive, and the 8th district will be more Republican-leaning. So for the state of Connecticut here, I'm okay with this map. I'd say that the 5th actually be a tilt seat, considering some of the polls we've seen and how that incumbent there is very much scandal plagued, but he should still be able to win narrowly in that seat. Delaware, we have nothing to see there. First day of Florida here, Ron DeSantis has done a very good job consolidating much of the Republican support. He has consolidated to the Republican Party a lot of seats, so it does look like that New Republicans will be able to win all the seats you see in the safe or likely red column, while Democrats hold on to a couple of seats. Going to the state of Georgia here, not much to talk about. The 2nd district, potentially going to be closer, but not very close, so it's going to be a lead margin. Hawaii, nothing to talk about there. Idaho, of course, nothing to talk about there. For the 13th district here, starting off in Illinois 13th, open seat, that means it's going to be more competitive, but it's still going to be tilt Democratic. Going to the 17th seat here, this is a gerrymandered state district as well as the 13th. Obviously, our gerrymanders, the 11th district as well, a gerrymander, but the 17th district is, it barely voted for Biden. It voted for Biden by like 5. That is still not exactly a super substantial margin, and the incumbent there, Cherry Bustos, is not running for re-election, so for that reason, I'm going to put it in the Republican column. Well, for the 14th district, Laura Underwood, I think she's going to be able to win, but it's only going to be a lean margin, not a likely margin. So for Indiana here, the 1st district, I'm going to move this to a lean seat for the Democratic Party. I think the incumbent there, Frank Mervyn, should be able to win. He won his last election by 17 points, and his district did not change by much in terms of the partisan lean. Going to Kansas here, we have the 3rd district. Sharice Davids she should lose, given that the national environment is not very good for her. The map originally got struck down, but then it got upheld again, so it does look like that this district will be a seat that Sharice Davids will not be able to win. But for the state of Iowa here, I think Cindy Jackson is not going to win. The 2 Republican competitive incumbents are definitely going to win, and the 4th district is not really competitive. Kentucky, nothing there. The state of Louisiana, nothing there. The state of Maine here, I think Jared Golden doesn't look like he's going to be able to win. Sure, he's a good incumbent, but that's not necessarily going to win you an election, especially in a Republican wave year. Well, for David Throne's seat, I think it's going to be a tilt margin, but regardless, he's still going to be able to win. Going to the state of Michigan here, Peter Major was indeed defeated in that Republican primary. That's not going to be too good news for the Republican Party. I think Peter Major, given that he lost that seat in primary, the Republicans will also lose that seat in the general. That being said, I do not think that Lisa Stocking will be able to win. Biden barely won that seat, and that really tells you enough. As well as that, Michigan's 10th district, it should be a likely Republican seat. The Democrats don't have many people to run in that seat. So going to the state of Montana, nothing really there. Nebraska, Nevada, 44th district here. I think that Stephen Hartford should be able to win. For the 3rd district, Susie Lee, I definitely don't see her winning, given a lot. Basically, she's barely up in some of the polls. She's not doing too well. She is a decent incumbent, but this district is just not very good for her, and neither does. I also think that she's also very vulnerable, but I'm going to keep it in the tilt Republican column. I think Chris Pappas should not be able to win. The national environment is pretty much against him, very much against him, and he is only a 2nd-term incumbent, while for the 2nd district, Ann Custer is a 5-term incumbent. That's why she's going to be able to win. Well, he will not be able to win. So, for the 7th district, Tom Manigowski is definitely not doing too well in his seat. He barely won his seat, despite that seat being a Biden plus 10 seat. Even though that was the case, he was only able to win that seat by 1.2 points in 2020. Now his seat is like D plus 0.2. He's obviously going to lose. So for state of New York here, John Katko. I mean, if he was running again, he'll easily be able to win. But this map doesn't favor him, doesn't give the Republicans as big as an edge. So I still think that this district will go to the Republican Party, though it will be a very close margin. I think that New York's 19th district, we saw Pat Ryan win in that special election, which was kind of surprising in my opinion, especially considering he did outrun Biden by about 1 or 2 points. Abortion was a very serious issue in that district, so I'm gonna have to put this race as a Republican-leaning seat just because the national environment, but again, I'm not gonna say that for sure. Andrew Gabrino's seat will also be likely because that is actually a very conservative seat, and Thomas Susie is now running for governor. That's why the seat is only tilt Democratic. While for Kathleen Rice is also not running for re-election, so I'm gonna put that race as a lean seat for the Democratic Party. North Carolina here, we have the 1st district here. That will be a tilt seat for the Democrats. Jacob Barfield is not running up for re-election. That's why the Democrats have a much more competitive seat, and the national environment is just not in their favor. That being said, this is still a seat that is that has a lot of minorities. It also has a lot of black voters. That's going to help the Democratic Party, of course, though this district did trend away from the Democrats in 2020. Well, in the 13th district, I think this will be a lean seat. This is an open seat, so generally competitive open seats in red wave or blue wave elections, whichever party that has the wave will, generally speaking, be able to win those seats. So for the state of Ohio here, Steve Chabot, I believe, was. So for the 9th district, Marcy Caper, it does say her 20th term. I'm pretty sure that is not very accurate, but I'm just gonna discount it. Yeah, it says 20th term, that's not true, but regardless, I think that she'll probably lose given the national environment similarity in the 13th district and the Lee Gonzalez's seat. he was not running for re-election. I still think the Republicans are favored in that seat. Steve Chabot's seat is pretty much a toss-up, but I'll keep it in the Republican column. Going to the state of Oregon, though, I think this seat will likely go to the Democratic Party, given that this is actually a pretty blue seat, in my opinion. So for the state of Pennsylvania, Susan Miles is unlikely going to be able to win. Matt Cartwright definitely is not going to win. And Connor Lamb running for U.S. Senate, that's probably not very good news for Democrats. He's also going to lose. Rhode Island, James Langevin has a lot of scandals. That's why this seat, that formally speaking, is actually a likely Democratic seat. This time it's actually tilt, because when you're leaving from a scandal-plagued incumbent, even if you're in a D+10 seat, this race is still going to be very close. I think it's going to be a D+1 seat at the end of the day. Going to South Carolina, not much to talk about there. South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas. Texas, I think that the 15th district in Texas, the open seat, should go to the Republican Party. I think Henry Cuellar is not going to be able to win. He is kind of scandal-plagued. The FBI did raid his home, so there's that. And for the 34th district, there are two incumbents. The one incumbent being the former incumbent of the seat that was not running for the special election. That being said, he will be running for the general election. And there's a current Republican incumbent, Maria Flores, who was able to win that special election. So there are two incumbents. Maria Flores, the Republican, is actually what I would consider the incumbent, but it doesn't look very good. It's a seat that Biden did win by 10 points, and Biden did not do too well in the Hispanic area, so that seat should go to the Republican Party, though it was kind of surprised that they did win that seat by a 5%, I think 7% margin in that special election. The state of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, she is in a seat that's more favorable for her, so for that reason, I'm going to put it at a tilt seat for the Republican Party. Well, for the 2nd district, I think that Elaine Luria is pretty much done for, given that the national environment is just not in her favor. Washington, I think Herm Schrader, I don't think he's going to be able to win. He is in a seat that Biden did not win by a huge margin. It is not the year for him. I'm frankly shocked that FiveThirtyEight has this race as like the Democrats winning it in 85% of scenarios. That is simply not the case. Kim Schrader is probably not going to win. So for the state of Wisconsin, not much to talk about here. Wyoming, wow, this seat is definitely going to be very competitive. But regardless, going to the U.S., I probably missed the seat. Yeah, I did. Yvette Harrell. This seat probably goes to Republicans by a lead margin. So here we go, 199 for Democrats, 236 for Republicans. Republicans, I believe, dropped 4 seats compared to my last prediction, given that some of the things are not going too favorable for them. I think, also I think Angela Craig is not going to win, so they dropped 3 seats. I believe one of them is Michigan's 3rd, one of them is Nevada's 1st, and the other one I'm not super sure, but in the end, the Democrats, they do gain 3 seats from my last prediction, but they're definitely still not going to win the House. Even FiveThirtyEight has the Republicans at a 77% chance at winning the House. So thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.